This is session 3 of FEG1 block 1. Now the topics to be covered are speech, linking verb, that helping verbs, and composition. Now first we'll discuss about the speech. Now what are the steps for delivering a speech? Now see, the first step is use your voice effectively. Now what do you mean by use your voice effectively? That when you speak, when you are going to deliver a speech, your aim is that you should be heard by everyone with interest. So your pitch and your tone should be very, very accurate, neither very low nor very high. The pitch and tone, both are very important. You should be loud, but you should not shout, and you should be audible to the audience properly. Next is maintain eye contact, looking directly at a member of the audience while you speak and moving your eyes from person to person. Eye contact is very important when you are delivering a speech. It becomes impressive. You relate with the audience when eye contact is there. And while doing eye contact, you should not look at one person only. You should move your eyes from person to person. That is very important. Now incorporate gestures and facial expressions. Let your emotions show in your face, particularly in your eyes and mouth. Now when you are speaking, when you are delivering a speech, your movements, your gestures should be impressive. Impressive enough for the audience to be spellbound. They should be interested in looking at you. And that is only possible when your gestures, your facial expressions are interesting enough for the audience. Use visual aids. Organize your information into charts, graphs, drawings that will reinforce your message. Go well prepared when you are going to deliver a speech. Carry with you all the materials by which all the visual aids, the presentations, the charts, the graphs, the drawings, whatever, videos, whatever you feel can make your speech an impressive one. You have to make an effort to make speech good by using all these things. Then one more thing is very important, that write a speech for the morning assembly on the topic of status of women in the society. Suppose you have to write a speech for the morning assembly. Then go well prepared. You prepare your speech. You have been given a task that you have to give a speech about the status of women in the society. So prepare it properly. The subject knowledge has to be there. And if you have the subject knowledge, then only you are confident in front of the audience. Use appropriate words. You should have a good vocabulary. Command on the language. Command on the topic. And make it interesting by your gestures, by eye contact. And I am sure your speech is going to be an interesting speech. Now the next topic is, which we are going to discuss today, is the linking verbs. What are the linking verbs? Helping verbs also. Now linking verbs link or connect the subject to the predicate. It does not show any action. As you have read, that there is no sentence without verb. And verb doesn't mean action. In a sentence where there is no action, there is a verb. That is called linking verb or helping verb. Like he is a boy or she is a boy. So there is no action in these sentences, but there is a verb. What is the verb here? Is. That is called linking verb. Now the common linking verbs are am, is, are, was, were, be, been. Now examples: we are hungry. He was late to school. The winner is John. So in these sentences you see that are, was, is, they are the helping verbs. So in a sentence, when there is no action, these linking verbs are there. They connect the subject to the predicate. Now helping verbs. Helping verb help a main verb. Main verb is there, action is there, but the helping verb is there to help the main verb. Now how? I am eating my lunch. Eating is verb, main verb, action, and am is helping verb. We were talking. Talking is verb, action, main verb, and verb is helping verb. And has taken the test. Taken is the main verb, the action, and has is helping verb. So these are the helping verbs which help the main verb. So linking verb and helping verb. Now together the main verb and its helping verb. The verb is called verb phrase. When both are there, we call it verb phrase. Now see the example. Many students can speak Spanish. Speak is action, the main verb, and can is helping verb. So they both are here. I will be learning about helping verbs today. Learning is the main verb, the action, and will be. So these are called will be. Learning together is a verb phrase. Now more about the verbs. Some words can be used as both helping verb and main verb. Like I do enjoy the movies. And the main verb, I will do the dishes. Now both the sentences you just see the do. How do is working. Do is helping verb. But how it's working as main verb also. So there are some examples of the action words. So these are all action words or the main verbs. Now walk, eat, read, sleep, write, play, call. What are these? These are all actions. So these are verbs. Now helping verbs. As I already explained to you, there are main verbs, the action words, and now the helping verbs. And together helping verbs and the action word they call verb phrase also. So these are the different kind of verbs I am explaining to you. Now come the helping verbs. There are 23. Now what are these 23? Look at the screen. Am, is, are, was, and, were, being, been, and, be, have, has, had, do, does, did, shall, will, should, and would. And there are 5 more. May, might, must, can, could. There is a long list I have given to you about the helping verbs. Now have, has. Have is used with plurals. Has is used with singular. Am, is, are. Is used, am is used with singular. As I have already explained to you, singular, plural. And are, were used with plurals. Now verb tense. Tenses are also verbs. And tenses are very important to understand the grammar. Without knowing the tenses, it will not be a complete knowledge of verb. So the tenses come under verb. Now how many type of tenses are there? You are very well aware of the tenses. There is a present tense, past tense, future tense. What's going on is present tense. What has already happened, over, is past tense. What will happen is future tense. Now we'll start with present tense. Present tense may express action which is going on or at the present time, or which occurs always repeatedly or habitually, which is going on and on right now, and happening also and will going on also. This is all about your present tense. Example, just see the example. He sees the train. He eats cereal for breakfast every day. Now, in the previous session, I have explained to you when I was teaching you agreement with the verb. With singular, first form of verb we use in present tense with S. We put S with the first form of verb. He eats. Eat is first form of verb, and we put S, eats, so this becomes present tense. Now past tense expresses action completed at a definite time in the past, which has already over, finished. That is past tense. Like, he wrote the letter yesterday. She went to the party last night. In both the examples, the action is being done, finished previously. So it is past tense. Now future tense. Future tense expresses action which will take place in future. It uses the helping verbs will and the present tense form of the verb. Example, he will send the letter tomorrow. I shall wait here until you return. Very clear from these sentences. The action which will be happening, which will take place in near future, that is future tense. We use will and first form of verb. Will is used. In past tense you have seen the second form of verb is used. In present tense you have seen the first form of verb is used. But in future tense, the first form of verb with will. That is future tense. Now see present, past and future. Now look, looked, will look. Present tense, move, past, second form of verb, moved, and first form of verb plus will. That will be future tense. Talk is the first form of verb. Second form of verb, talked, and future tense will be will talk. Now we will study present tense in detail. Now look at the screen. The simple present tense and present continuous tense. Both the tenses are there in front of you. The continuous tense, as I told you, the simple present tense, we just use the first form of verb. And in singular number, we use S with the first form of verb, and with plural, we don't use S. He talks, they talk, present tense. Okay. In present continuous tense, always some action is continuously going on. That is continuous tense. Like, for temporary situations, for actions happening or at around the moment of speaking, the repeated action which always expressing annoyance or criticism, for fixed arrangements in the near future, for changing or developing situations. That is present continuous tense. The work is at present, it is going on continuously. Present continuous tense. It's raining. It is raining. First form of verb plus ing plus is rm. That is your present continuous tense. With singular, m and s. With plural, it is always r. First form of verb plus ing. Now simple present tense. There is one more concept in present tense you should be able to understand. That is the concept of do and does. In the previous sessions, when I was explaining to you about the three kinds of sentences, I am sure you are aware of The affirmative sentences, those are called positive sentences also. Interrogative sentences where we ask questions, and negative sentences where no is there. So 3 kinds of sentences are there. So in simple present tense, the concept of do and does is very important. As I told you, in the singular number, when the subject is in singular, when I was teaching you the subject and verb agreement, that time I explained to you, then if the subject is singular, then we first form of verb we put S. So in interrogative sentences like he works, look at the screen, he works, the first form of verb I have put S. When we make interrogative sentences, does he work? We ask question from does and it becomes the first form of verb. And in negative, he doesn't work. Again, the verb becomes the first form of verb and the S is removed and it becomes doesn't. And when it is I, you or they, plural, I, you exception, with I we use M, with you we use R. Otherwise with all plurals we use R or do. In simple present tense it is they work. Only first form of verb is there. So when we change them into interrogative sentences, it is do they work. It becomes do and the first form of verb is there. Negative, they don't work. So the concept of do and does is very clear to you. I work, do I work, I don't work. You work, do you work, you don't work. He works, does he work, he doesn't work. She works, does she work, she doesn't work. It works, does it work, it doesn't work. We work, do we work, we don't work. You work, do you work, you don't work. They work, do they work, they don't work. So all these sentences you have seen, do and does is used, do with the plurals, does with the singulars. Now in detail we'll see or we'll study present continuous tense. Now what are they doing? What is she doing? What is he doing? And the sentences are, the answers of these questions are, they are reading, she is singing, he is fishing, she is drinking, she is kissing. Now everywhere you can see the helping verb is, are, is used, is with singular, are with plural, first form of verb and ing. This is present continuous tense. Now come to past tense. Now simple past tense and past continuous tense. I have already as explained to you, the past tense means the action which has happened already. It's over. That is past tense. Past continuous tense for action in the middle of the happening at the stated past. For past action in progress. For 2 or more simultaneous past actions. In past it was going on. Then past continuous tense. It was, it rains. It was raining yesterday continuously. So we are using was raining. First form of verb ing, that is continuous tense, and past tense was or were. Was with singular, were with plural. And simple past, you know, always it is whether singular or plural, second form of verb will be used. So that is simple past, and continuous was and were with ing, first form of verb. Now see, simple past, watch, watched, eat, ate. Second form of verb is used in simple past. He ate, we watched or he watched, with singular also, with plural also. Here it's simple. In simple past there is no concept of do and does, but only second form, whether it is singular or plural. But in negative or interrogative sentences, the concept of did is there. It is very important to understand the concept of did in negative and interrogative sentence only. Now past continuous tense. Now past progressive tense. In past continuous tense, as I have already told you, that concept of ing is there. With the first form of verb, you put ing and was or were, and it's a activity which is going on continuously in past. That is past continuous tense. Now future tense. Future tense means what is going to happen in future. That is simple future tense. And going to is also used as future tense. The concept of going to is very important to understand. Now for actions intended to be performed in near future, going to rain. It is going to rain. We will be going to. So that shows, that indicates that action will be done in near future. So that will be future tense. As I have already explained to you in earlier session, that future tense is simple, the first form of verb, and will be added to it. I will go. I will eat means you will do it in future, that action. That is future tense. Now continuous tense, next time, next month, I will sit. I will still be teaching in Parla. Now future continuous tense, I will be doing it. That is future continuous tense. Will be first form of verb plus ing. That is your future continuous tense. Now past perfect tense. Past perfect tense and past perfect continuous tense. There are two tenses. More or less same. In past, the difference I will tell you. The past perfect tenses, there are two actions in perfect tense. And one action finished before the other action. Before I reached the station, the train had already left. Reaching the station is one action. The train left the station is another action. So two actions are there in past perfect tense. And present perfect continuous tense, where it should be past perfect continuous tense. In past perfect continuous tense, the time is given always. Two actions are there, but with the time. And the times are also two types. The definite time and indefinite time. Like the train had already left when I reached the train had left 2 hours before I reached the station. Or it has been rain. I reached late to my office because it had been raining since morning. Now since and for, two timings are there. Two actions are there. Two timings are there. One is fixed time, one is definite, and one is indefinite time. For definite time, we use since. For indefinite time, we use for. For 2 years, for 2 days, for 3 days. This is all indefinite time. And definite time, since morning, since 2 o'clock, since 1986. Now these are the definite timings. So with the definite time, with the since and for, with two actions, that is past perfect continuous tense. Now in the continuation of the tenses, as I have already explained to you, past continuous tense. So the next tense is past perfect tense. In past perfect tense, we have, as I have already told you, in present perfect tense also, there are always two actions in perfect tense. For past action which occurred before another action or before a stated past time. For complete past action which had visible results in the past, the past perfect is the past equivalent of the present perfect. Now as for example, I can say I reached the station the train had already left. Now two actions are there. My reaching to the station, that is also in the past tense, and the train had already left, that is another action. So two actions are there. And in the present perfect tense, we were using have and has. In past perfect tense, we will be using had. That's the only difference. There is no has and have. There is no concept of singular and plural. Here we will be using in past tense only had. Now past perfect continuous tense. The same concept is there. Two actions, one before the other action. But in past perfect continuous tense, we will be using had been. With had, the been will be used, and we will be using time also. As I have already explained to you, in present perfect continuous tense, also I told you there are time also. A definite time and indefinite time. For definite time, we use since. For indefinite time, we use for. That it had been raining since morning. So this is past perfect continuous tense, because I am giving you a definite time since morning. First form of verb plus ing plus had been. So this is about your past perfect continuous tense. Now future perfect tense. Future perfect tense for actions which will be finished before a stated future time. That is future perfect tense. Future perfect tense like will be, will have been, shall have been is used in future perfect tense. Use is for duration of an action which up to a certain time in the future. As in the past perfect continuous tense, present perfect continuous tense, same rule are there for future perfect continuous tense also. Two kind of timings are there, definite and indefinite, and then it becomes future perfect continuous tense. Now see the example. We will have finished the report by Friday. So this is the example of future perfect tense. So I am sure now you all are aware of the different tenses I have explained to you. The another example of future perfect continuous tense, we will have been studying for 3 hours by 5 p.m. Now just see, the time is given. Have been. First form of verb plus ing. Future tense is there, will is there. Perfect tense is there, have will be there, have been will be there. And first form of verb, ing is there. And time is given. So it makes it future perfect continuous tense. This is all for today in this session. Thank you.